Before Eddie Stobart was a household name, there was Pickfords, Britain's original heavy haulier. They were hauling freight before logistics was even a word, starting with horse carts in the 1600s and graduating to monstrous machines built to move castles. This isn't just transport history, it's the story of a company that moved Britain forward, one oversized load at a time. So if you thought haulage began with flashy branding and CB radios, tighten up your seatbelts, because Pickfords was shifting the nation long before Eddie ever hit the road. In the golden age of British heavy haulage, one name towered above all when it came to muscle and mechanical grit: Scaml. From the 1930s through to the post-war decades, Pickfords didn't just choose Scaml. They forged a partnership that defined an era of transport history. The Scammell Pioneer, born from military roots, was a beast, designed initially for artillery recovery. Its incredible torque and rugged build made it perfect for moving loads that would leave other lorries stranded. Pickfords put it to work, hauling everything from massive steam locomotives to entire bridge spans. It wasn't built for speed, it was built for battles, and road transport just happened to be its new battlefield. Drivers joked it had two speeds, slow and still moving. But that suited Pickfords just fine. Reliability was the true currency, not miles per hour. As transport demands grew larger and more complex, Pickfords doubled down with Scammell's contractor and highwayman models. These machines came with bigger engines, stronger chassis, and the nerve to handle Britain's most intimidating loads. Think entire factory machinery or power station components. The Scammell Contractor, with its distinctive long bonnet and unapologetically boxy design, became a road-going legend. Why Scammell? Because when you're transporting something the size of a small castle across motorways, you care less about the ride comfort and more about not leaving a crater at every roundabout. Scammel's were brutal, brilliant, and built to survive jobs that others wouldn't dare touch. For Pickfords, Scaml wasn't just a supplier, it was an enabler of engineering miracles on wheels, and it turned the British roads into a moving spectacle of industrial might. Love the Scammell beast as much as we do? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more legends of the road. The 1950s gave us Elvis, jukeboxes, and milkshakes. But in the world of British haulage, it was all about horsepower, not hip swings. For Pickfords, the post-war era marked a new phase of industrial expansion and a fresh lineup of heavy-duty machinery. One of the early players was Thornycroft, a reliable marquee known for solid engineering. They didn't stick around long, but they bridged the gap until British Leyland's influence took hold. And when it did, Pickfords turned to trucks with names as bold as their capabilities. Enter the AEC Mammoth Major, a truck that sounded like it could lift a freight train and probably had the torque to try. Designed for serious payloads, this lorry became a Pickford staple, handling general heavy-duty transport with a stoic grunt. Right beside it was the Leyland Octopus, a dependable 8-wheeler with just the right balance of versatility and brute strength. 8 wheels might sound excessive until you realize it was built to carry the kind of cargo that made cranes nervous. These weren't showstoppers. You wouldn't hang a poster of a Mammoth Major in your bedroom, well, unless your bedroom was a warehouse. But they were the backbone of Britain's post-war boom. They hauled turbines to power stations, boilers to factories, and the occasional nuclear reactor components, because why not? Pickfords didn't shy away from odd shapes or outrageous weights. If it didn't fit in a van, didn't roll easily, or made the ground tremble, they figured it out. This era wasn't about the flash, it was about function, grit, and getting things moved. And thanks to trucks like the Mammoth and the Octopus, they did just that. By the time the 1970s rolled in, Britain's motorways were evolving, and so was Pickfords. Gone were the days of clunky gears and ear-splitting engine roars. Well, not entirely. But Pickfords was definitely turning its fleet for the future. Enter the ERF B Series, a solid performer known for its robust steel chassis and no-nonsense attitude. Paired with Cummins and Gardner engines, these trucks were all torque and reliability. Alongside them came the Foden S21, affectionately nicknamed the Mickey Mouse because of its distinctive cab shape. But don't let the nickname fool you. This was one of the toughest lorries on the road, with the power to haul loads that would make your driveway collapse just thinking about it. But the real transformation began with a Scandinavian invasion. Volvo's F88, F10 and F12 models entered the scene, bringing in a new era of comfort, efficiency and dependability. Suddenly, long-haul drivers weren't just bracing for physical punishment, they were enjoying air-suspended seats and quieter cabs. It was like upgrading from a garden shed to a studio flat. Not to be outdone, Scania stormed in with the 111, 141 and 143 series. These were the heavy hitters, built for both abnormal loads and long-distance reliability. They offered performance, power, and shockingly, comfort. Some drivers joked they were more comfortable than their own living rooms, and they weren't entirely wrong. This era was less about grunting it out and more about precision. Pickfords was modernizing not just its trucks, but its whole approach. The mission? Deliver 200-ton loads across the country without waking the neighbors. And they did it, with style. Seen these rigs in action? Let us know below, and subscribe to keep the haulage heritage rolling. Behind every oversized transformer, bridge span or nuclear reactor section was a Pickfords crew who made the impossible look routine. These weren't just drivers, they were craftsmen of the road, engineers behind the wheel, and occasionally, emergency mechanics armed with a spanner, a crowbar, and a can-do attitude. Pickfords drivers were known for their calm under pressure and their practical genius. Many underwent specialized training to handle abnormal loads with pinpoint accuracy. Maneuvering a 12-foot wide load through a medieval high street without disturbing a single hanging basket wasn't just a skill, it was art. All done with a dry quip, a flask of tea, and maybe a sausage bap tucked in the cab. But what really set them apart was the culture. There was an unspoken bond between crew members. Whether crawling across narrow lanes or performing late-night roadside repairs in the rain, they had each other's backs. The pride in wearing the Pickfords badge was real and earned. In an age before GPS, dash cams, or TikTok followers, these drivers relied on intuition, teamwork, and pure grit. They weren't in it for the fame, they were in it for the satisfaction of a job well done, and maybe the chance to tell a great pub story later. That legacy of resilience and respect still lives on. If regular haulage is a game of chess, specialized heavy haulage is three-dimensional space chess with kettlebells. And when it came to this high-stakes game, Pickfords wasn't just good, they were elite. Think of them as the SAS of shifting the unshiftable. If it was too wide, too tall, too heavy, or just too terrifying for anyone else to touch, Pickfords would not crack their knuckles and say, let's move it. Their arsenal was stacked with some of the most powerful and purpose-built machinery in the industry. Early on, they deployed Scammell 6x4s and 8x4s, trucks that looked like they bench-pressed double-decker buses for breakfast. But as the jobs got heavier and the stakes got higher, Pickfords evolved again, bringing in MAN and Mercedes-Benz tractors, the German tanks of the haulage world. But no truck is complete without a trailer, and Pickfords didn't mess about. They partnered with Schürrle and Goldhofer, the rock stars of modular trailer engineering. These trailers could be configured like giant Lego sets, stretching, expanding, and adapting to carry everything from industrial transformers to entire locomotives. Some had more axles than a millipede and hiking boots, each designed to evenly distribute mind-boggling weight over the road. Moving a load wider than a motorway lane and heavier than your average village pub isn't a straightforward task. It requires planning that borders on military precision, escort vehicles, temporary traffic light removals, and occasionally some polite discussions with local authorities. This wasn't just trucking, it was choreography, a dance between engineering, logistics, and pure nerve. Pickfords didn't just transport objects, they moved behemoths with a calm professionalism that turned chaos into motion. For them, heavy haulage wasn't just a job, it was a calling. Some brands need flashy ads, celebrity endorsements, or viral hashtags. Pickfords? They just needed a lorry. A big, bold, unmistakably dark blue lorry with white or silver lettering that practically said, "We mean business." For decades, the Pickfords' identity wasn't just recognized, it was respected. Their visual presence became part of Britain's industrial scenery. Their signature livery, deep navy blue accented by crisp white or silver, wasn't just a paint job, it was a statement. It said, something serious is moving through town. And then there was the cherry on the top, the abnormal load signage, slapped across the front and back like a warning label for reality. Seeing it on the road wasn't just common, it was iconic. Their branding came long before brand identity became a buzzword. Pickfords didn't need mood boards or marketing agencies. Their identity was forged in grit, steel, and reputation. Their trucks became mobile billboards of reliability, often spotted inching through roundabouts, followed by long lines of curious, mildly annoyed drivers, many of whom still remember the name decades later. And yes, if you ever got stuck behind one of those monstrous rigs on a single-lane road doing 15 miles per hour, you probably muttered a few choice words, but you also watched in awe, because watching Pickfords at work wasn't just watching transport, it was watching heritage in motion. So the next time someone talks about British hauling and drops the name Eddie Stobart with admiration, just nod. Then introduce them to the real OGs, Pickfords. The company that was moving Britain's mightiest loads when the word haulage still smelled like coal dust and steam. If you've ever seen one of those blue beasts rumble past, or better yet, sat behind the wheel of one, drop your stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. And if you're passionate about the untold stories of transport, logistics, and the unsung heroes behind the wheel, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us for more deep dives into the legacy of the road.